I'm not looking at her.
She said,
Like,
no, just.
I think it's the same. I saw him
That was a good one.
yesterday.
That was a good one, though.
No, she.
Oh, yeah. That's all.
All right, can Johnson maybe there, you throw back at the chair meeting?
Sure.
All right, let me get the,
Get my chair.
get the big guy chair.
Recording in
There you are, man. Good, nice. Just in case you guys can't see every crevice of everyone's faces, nice and zoomed in. You're up, sir.
All right, roll call, please. So, ready for the roll call?
Very good.
Here's Nancy, Mills here.
And this is Allison, our newest rec commissioner.
Allison.
Want to say hi?
Hi, Allison Reed.
Allison. Of course, me, Jody Cole here. Said we're gonna start the Park and Recreation meeting, May 8th, 2025. And get a motion to start.
Approval of the minutes.
Approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so,
Yeah, we should probably skip to the
yes, right.
discussion about Al Brown naming presentation. So Maureen and Nancy were here for Carl's presentation at the April meeting. We didn't have a quorum, so there was no official vote that could take place. But everyone by now should have reviewed the presentation. And, our role in this is to vote on whether or not to make a recommendation to the mayor's office, supporting this proposal. From there, depending, on what the commission does, the mayor will, make a decision or determination on to, advance the proposal to the common council. We will then vote on it at their meeting. So if you guys have any discussion that needs to take place, or if there's any questions, Emily is here, so we can present those if you have any.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No.
Okay.
All right,
We're ready for the vote, so you can vote.
all right,
Before you, Carl and I had a discussion, I don't know how Carl feels about it, but as I voiced it last time I was here about this whole concept of roundout. And I know that it's the roundout center, and that would probably be the Albert Brown roundout. I would like to make it the downtown Albert Brown Center, because Albert wasn't the roundout, Albert was in downtown. Roundout didn't exist. And at the time, it was merged into the city of Kingston. So roundout per se doesn't exist. And looking at the time of Albert, it was the time of urban renewal. It was a time of, well, I don't want to tell you what's coming to my mind, but it was a time of urban renewal. And Albert, with all the credentials that were presented by Carl, with his civil rights activities and equal rights activities, and starting the Biddy League, doing things like that. Albert was a downtown, with the downtown attitude, I think, something like it, the downtown concept.
So you want to amend
I
that?
think we should modernize, say it's it's Albert Brown Roundhouse.
Well, the name that was proposed was Albert Brown Community Center. It didn't actually say the Roundup Center.
Downtown Albert Brown Community Center. Now, I think it's catchy because if kids are gonna be playing there, which I assume that's what it's gonna be aimed at, children. You can go to the DAB, the downtown Albert Brown.
I mean, it's your application, whatever you want to.
I would like I suggest that, I'm not a member.
I'm gonna say, I wanna say something though. Personally, I think you should keep it what it is, because that's what the common council voted on twice. And you can, if this proceeds back to the mayor, you could work out that detail with him. But the information that you presented to this committee was that the common council of Kingston voted not once but twice for the center to be called the Albert Brown Community Center.
Correct.
So that, I don't think you should change that, because that's what your presentation focused on.
Correct.
Correct.
And then when it goes back to the mayor, if they have to go again, you could work on that detail of community or downtown.
Correct.
But if you can't, if it goes to the mayor,
Mhm.
then it's already been passed by the council.
No, the mayor goes to the mayor first.
Oh,
The mayor
okay.
I don't disagree with you, doctor. My point is,
You know, if
the whole
you say
entire
so.
presentation
Yeah,
is based on the
absolutely.
fact that it was already voted, the Albert Brown Community Center.
Yeah.
That was what it was called,
And I,
So,
when they got the funding for it.
I think we can hash some of that out later.
okay,
But the way I went at this was that it was called the Al Brown Community Center, voted on, like my wife said, not once, but twice after the veto. I think that's semantics that we can work on. I think the idea that the Common Council had done their job. I think right now, you guys, if it's okay with you, if the vote goes through, is to give it to the mayor and let the mayor do what he wants to with it.
Well, that's,
He is the mayor.
Yep, so,
that sounds good.
yep, we'll keep it the way it is then, and so you guys can proceed with your vote.
Let's get the vote.
no, it's all right.
No.
And your main goal is to have Al Brown's name on the rec center,
That's
right?
Right, that's the main thing.
So, yeah, that's the main goal.
Let's,
I think we should be.
yeah, we should, yeah, let's proceed, and then, like I
So
said,
let's get the vote on. So we can move on.
yeah, because we do have a couple other,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to interrupt, but we do have a couple other things, we just want to move along with this part.
Yeah, so we need to
Okay,
vote on it.
Yeah.
So we proceed.
Yeah.
all right.
We're gonna take a vote to request that the Round Neighborhood Center be named the Al Brown Community Center. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's what it is.
There you go.
Okay, so that will go to the mayor,
That looks to me.
that recommendation.
Yes,
This week?
yes, yes, but it's-
Yep, I'll type up the letter, and we'll,
All right.
proceed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of the Brown family, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm Sherry, and I'm your chair.
Sherry, have we had Sherry's birthday?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is Carl's mother and Sherry's.
Thank you.
I told, remember?
Thank you, sir.
And this lovely person.
Yeah, welcome, yeah. Take care, all right, thank you for presenting and all the information you provided, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Later afternoon, you want to go on Mother's Day? Are you open? Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, take care.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So we wanna go to, that's finished, wanna go to new business?
Yes, let's, get going on that, All right, so I don't know, did everyone have a chance to review the descriptions and the details that I forwarded? Now, Allison, I know this is, new for you, so, I don't know if we discussed it in your, interview, but, actually, the most important role that this commission plays is making a recommendation also on, a fee in lieu of parkland for new development. So maybe we did touch on it a little bit, but so we have two more that have just come up. Actually, we just received, I think, a check is coming for one of the properties. I think it's another $3,000.
Okay.
So that goes into the rec trust fund. Some of that money is actually being used towards new pickleball and tennis court or refurbishing anyway. So the new ones that were just brought up, 206 and 208 Flatbush Ave. Owned by Kingston Housing Authority. Project includes demolishing Penn Court senior residences, and constructing a building to house 80 senior apartments. Net gain will be 48 new units that will require consideration of parkland or payment in lieu of parkland. The complex will also be upgraded with new site improvements, including parking, lighting, landscaping, and new playground facilities.
So is that parkland?
These
Yeah,
facilities.
amenities.
What?
Have all the amenities.
See.
That,
Any
you
playground
know what I'm saying,
facilities?
is that in
Um,
terms of a parkland?
well, I think that's kind of what. I think it depends on everyone's perception. I mean, some people take parkland to be very literal. I mean, others feel like, you know, depending on the amenities and who has access to them and what they're used for, how big the space is.
There's like a 3D of what their plan is.
I don't know if that was in the rendering. Let's see.
Because when I read that, I thought, is that considered?
Public
And who's all allowed to use it? Who's all allowed to use it? That's another question.
And I don't know that it, I mean, this is why they're changing the code, because
Right.
there's so much open for interpretation with this. I don't know that it has to be open to the public necessarily. I think that the idea is if you have new
For the
people,
residents.
yeah, that they're not, right, that it's not gonna necessarily impact our existing parkland and playgrounds. So I'm gonna try to share my screen, because there is, we can provide, 13-page document.
Yeah.
Know that it's,
Right, it's so much.
Yeah, I
You
looked
looked at
at
it?
the document,
Yeah.
I just couldn't I was just trying to get like a visual of what it will actually kind of look like.
Yeah, it's
Once
not-
it's finished, like, you know, people have like a 3D and they
yeah, and
illustrate it.
a lot of
It's
times
existing, correct, and we're tearing down the old, correct?
adding
And
on.
then- And adding more than what it is.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
I understood that.
So, and again, if it's not initially clear, I mean, we could ask that the developers come.
Okay,
We could say, you know, like, I mean, it's not unusual that we've had people come and present, and maybe if they're willing, they might be able to provide more information. I can also follow up with planning, and maybe they'll say,
how they
Yeah.
interpret it,
yeah,
okay,
cause I mean, right now, this document's not even loading. Are you able to see it on your?
it's very tiny.
Yeah.
It's very,
Yeah, and the best one is the aerial
right,
map.
it's really, really,
But it doesn't indicate
No.
the size, does it?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. Let me
I
see.
remember looking.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I think that that's a good idea if we table A.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah,
And
no,
just
that's-
even if the planning board can give us more of an insight.
Yeah,
It's just hard to read like the.
Because
I know.
it sounds like there's,
yeah,
Usually they come right out and you know that there's nothing.
and it's also, like you said, there's site plans, it's not
Yeah,
very
right,
like layman's term type stuff, Okay, so I'll reach out to planning and ask for,
Okay.
you know, like you said, maybe a rendering or something of what they're looking to do.
Okay,
Now, it's 615 Broadway, it's a little different.
yeah,
I'm gonna pass this around, you guys can all review this.
okay.
So this came from, there's one thing on the other side. So this came from our, housing director. I had asked him for some additional information, just so that way, you know, you folks had something to review, So this property is different because it's, so it includes property owned by the city of Kingston and a portion owned by the Salvation Army. The proposal includes a mixed-use building with ground floor commercial space and 70 residential units. The site includes the Pauline Olivero Safety Listening Plaza, which was included in the RFP as a requirement in the development of the site, so that has to remain. This portion of the project will be open to the public and will act as an outdoor plaza with seating and landscaping surrounded by commercial tenants. The area will be gated and will be closed when businesses are not in operation. This project includes 66 first floor exempt units that would be considered for parkland or payment in lieu of parkland.
Four or 66?
No, four exact, the first four exact, so
So
62. 62
Okay,
would
alright.
be,
Okay.
you know. Yeah, so the big piece of this is that it's city property. So that's the part that I think kind of, you know,
Does that also exempt them from the fee?
that is technically what our decision or the commission's decision to make, which, you know.
If the city owns it.
I think we should, we're not gonna go on that today.
I mean,
No,
that's up to you guys, it's, I mean, I think they try to send some more information, you know,
yeah, I would,
do you feel like you want someone to come and speak? Do you feel like, I mean, I'm trying to look at what Bartek sent, I mean. So the amount, so I think what's important to remember is the amount, the anticipated hard cost for the new public plaza and community space is $320,000. So if you consider, I think that's part of what they're sending for consideration. I'm just gonna get a calculator out, so I can try to cross-reference this now. So if they were to pay for the 62 units, 3,000 a unit, that's $186,000. They're paying more than that just to build it, and then it's a public space. It's being kept as a public space. So I believe there was another project that was similar to this, where there was community open space provided, which is something to consider. You know, as you were just asking about the other project, it's, will it be open to the public? This will be public. It will be
Right.
closed when businesses are closed, much like, you know, the evenings, our parks are closed technically.
But
The total
the company
size.
is, right? You know, because, I mean,
You're
it's
saying
city
the
property.
Yeah,
And do they own, the city still owns the property?
It says the property is being transferred from the Salvation Army and will be transferred to the city.
Still to the city of
the Salvation Army though.
Yes, yeah.
Right, so the city's acquiring the Salvation Army,
building.
because I think, I believe that's the area that it's gonna be in,
Yes.
on that side.
I had time to work it out pretty.
See, because it's just the hard cost for the new public plaza and community space is at $320,000.
Correct.
Yeah, I have some questions. Do you have any questions?
You know, I'm just trying to
Confusing.
envision that space, but I'm sure that Travis and, you know, Al's gonna have some
I
questions.
think we should take, we should take this also,
Wait, will somebody come to speak?
have somebody come speak, so
I
we're
want
together.
to see more of this.
Of the,
Like, I want to
of the
see,
renovation.
come
Yeah.
and show us more than this. Like, I want like a 360 of like what this is.
No, yeah, but what's this, like you said, 360, what's around it also.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is
Like,
that
I
thing
want to see.
is-
I don't really know what this location is. Trying to picture like what this is gonna look like.
Where there used to be.
The hotel.
Mhm. It's
Like, that's like, see
That's
there
where the Salvation Army is.
and like.
It's space, right?
The one.
No, the Salvation Army is down the street.
Let's see.
That's
See,
like the-
Yes.
Oh, because that's up further. I thought it was
That's right
further.
across the street.
Okay. See, I'm not sure where this is.
Where the.
Yeah, so
So we were both saying that.
do you know where you got, so.
Yes,
so you
yes,
got-
so where the hotel used to be?
Yeah, and then and then on the other side, go like diagonal cuts to Cedar, and that's where Salvation Army is. So
Okay.
they were gonna be taking over that whole area.
Right.
And I'm not entirely sure, but I think based on this rendering, I believe the public area is back that
That
side.
way.
That's why I think they mentioned the Salvation
Salvation
Army,
Army.
because that's gonna be the property that the city will be using as the public space. But it's hard, I see what you mean, it is hard to
Hard to
see it from
see.
this.
It's like, this is Theater Street.
But this is on
So it's
Broadway.
like-
That's Broadway.
Right, okay.
City Hall.
So do you remember where the hotel used to be and where the
Right,
gas
we
station
currently
is?
own.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That,
Okay.
That area where
That
the
part area.
hotel used to be.
yes, that's where the
How you gonna
listening
make it
closet
look-
is.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if they want to buy the other property, which I don't think that's happened yet, that would be the space. that would-
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we have to table that also.
I do,
Yes, all right, so we'll table,
yeah.
and we'll hopefully be able to get Travis and Al's input, the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good,
Yeah,
thank you.
because I mean, it is a lot, without totally understanding it also.
I just like to see the surroundings of it, what we have here. It's like one specific area, but like I said, 360 of the surroundings, of how, traffic's gonna go and
Right,
map, put it that way.
so the planning board has to have a little bit more information.
Yeah, I think they will probably have, I mean, more of the, just see,
See, we're trying to see what's very lucky. Because really, where the property is, that's Henry Street. Am I right? No?
all right.
Because I'm thinking about where Cedar,
Okay, because the land,
goes in back,
because that land.
goes
between
stretches back.
Where the hotel used to be,
Right,
is a certain,
but that's.
there's a boundary there, and then there's a
Gas station.
a gas station.
And that's Henry,
Which is the mall,
That's
and that goes right there.
but this goes all the way back. And what's that other side street?
That's Cedar.
Cedar.
That's where this is.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it says, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
Looks different, I mean.
It's, yeah, it's
hard
hard.
to live by it,
Right.
Because
yeah,
I'm saying, where's it, that's the way the traffic's gonna go.
yeah.
Right.
Cedar.
You have, yeah, again, I'm trying to get this, it's just so small, it's not, it's like.
Cedar over here.
not moving, right?
There's a gas station
right. And where Cedar did you say?
over here, because there's Broadway right here. And then everything between, like, the back and all that stuff is right here.
Which is Broadway.
Which is facing.
Are you looking at that right now? So,
Yes,
so
Yeah.
this is Salvation Army, right, over here. That's Salvation Army, this is the road, this is Broadway.
Mhm.
uh-huh.
Over
Yes,
here would
yes.
be, right, that
The
was,
Cedar.
Yeah, that comes
And
out.
that's,
well, that was like
That-
parking, that's like a parking lot then.
so that's right back
Yeah.
behind you, Pat, right?
Yes.
Yes. Right, the
Yeah.
parking lot's right,
Yeah. That correct?
they have.
Yeah, they gotta explain this a little bit.
All right, so we'll see, maybe we'll have the developer come
Okay,
if he can, he or she.
and if we could get some briefing from the planning,
Yeah,
because they had to look at it.
yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, so I'll reach out to them.
Okay,
All right, so tabling that. All right.
So now we're going through, action and discussion items, memorial name, we did that, so.
Yep.
Department program update.
Yes, so I had some updates at the last meeting that we didn't get to, but, so now there's additional updates. So we are officially in spring programming. Softball started this week, adult softball. Everything went smoothly for the first week. So far, so good. Volleyball starts at the end of the month. We are still working on registration and divisions and things of that nature. 14 to 18, youth basketball started, it's not started, we're going into our fifth.
wow,
Time really does fly, so, that's actually, that's a shorter program, so the fifth week will be our last regular season, game, and then we go right into playoffs. So that should be done probably by the end of the month, I would say, assuming there's no cancellations. The Deets open house went well. Maureen was there, Al was there. Is that it from our group? I think that might have been it. Yeah, I mean, it rained, it's horrid actually, but what'd you think? How did you feel going through and seeing everything?
It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's state of the art, so, totally a total upgrade from what it was before. I didn't get a chance to actually, well, we went, into the locker room and the concession area. We walked across the turf to get there, and it's beautiful.
Now, are we
And-
using the concession stands? Are they?
Not, like, we're not contracting it out, but people that, are renting the facility, they can bring in, their vendors, they have to fill out a vendor application.
Okay.
We are working on, like a pre-approved list, so that anyone who is having an event, I mean, this
Can
might
use
not,
it.
yeah, it might not happen this year, but we're trying to see what other communities do, so that way, if you are interested in vending at Deeds, you pay the annual fee, get all the paperwork in, so we already have it on file. And then that way, if like Stockade wants to bring in Joe's Restaurant, if you're on the list, you already have your stuff and everything, there's no like checks that we have to do, we just verify that you're already on the approved list, and then they can, move forward,
Sounds
so it would be helpful once we get that going.
And they have, they have electrical outlets set up
Yes.
for each of the, like if there's trucks,
Trucks,
food
yeah.
trucks. So they can, just plug right in, you don't have to step over a whole lot, how some of these trucks have like extension cords to get to an outlet, so.
So it's,
Very impressive.
Yeah, it looks great, I mean, everybody's loving it, it's packed every day, rain or shine, even if you went up there right now, there would be a whole group of kids playing. It's wonderful to see, it really is,
It's a beautiful.
Yeah.
I took a walk over.
it's nice, right? So that went well, summer registration for our program is open, some of our campsites, some of our junior naturalist,
That's probably full.
yeah, some of them are full, some of our camps are full, Forsyth has been full, I think, since day 2. That was probably the quickest it's ever filled up. Swim lessons, I think one of the sessions is full. Tennis, if anyone's interested in tennis, we have plenty of space for tennis. Staffing for these programs is coming, to completion. We have some interviews that we've been conducting. Interviews with lifeguards for the pool and beach season. The beach is expected to open Father's Day weekend, which I think is the 14th and 15th. Weather permitting, of course, and assuming we have staffing. And then the pool usually opens the weekend before camp, so that would be June 28th.
So when in the beach, there was find those little pointy.
The cowheads.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
are they called?
Cowheads, I think they're called water chestnuts, so it's the official name.
So those
See.
But so
every year.
they come from a plant in the water, so that's why, yeah.
They probably wash up.
They do.
From someplace down the river.
Those things sharp.
So we, and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, like,
Yeah, you can see them.
yeah.
And see us.
No, we, our staff do try to get there first thing in the morning, they rake machine, they rake it, they try to get them up, I mean, it's,
I see them do it multiple times over,
Yeah.
during our course.
yeah.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe how they.
How many we have?
Yeah, yes, a lot. But they do a great job,
Yeah.
staff. Yeah, excellent.
Thank you, yes, it's a busy time for sure, trying to get some seasonal staff going so that we can, help with the workload and everything, but. Our guys work really hard, especially this time of year, that everyone knows the assignment and, trying to get it done, that's for sure. Alright. Mostly everything I had, oh, you know what, BMX, so part of the agreement with BMX, using the facility down there, is they're supposed to provide some sort of update, it doesn't have to be every month, but somewhat on a often occasion, so I had a meeting with Mike Henderson, who runs the program. He might come at the June meeting, or he might provide me with some information, so
Okay.
I'll let you know as we get a little bit closer, if he's gonna come and present himself, or if he's just gonna give me some updates, but
Usually he comes.
yes, and that's what, and he did say that, so he might wanna come for the first one, and then as we go
Right.
along, so their state, I think they have a state tournament on May 31st, actually, so that's a big one.
Yeah.
He was telling me about that. They bring in a lot of people, they come with their campers,
Campers,
set up, it's good. It's just, everybody, visitors go around town, they shop, they eat, all the good stuff that we want to see here, so. The other update I wanted to let you guys know about, it's not really programming, but we did also open up our sponsorship program for Dean Stadium. So there's different tiers, and so I don't know how many people have seen that posting, but we have, the lowest tier ranging from 600 to the highest, which is platinum, goes up to 900. Businesses, it's an annual thing, the membership, or excuse me, the sponsorship runs from June to June. Everyone, wants to apply, they submit an application with the check, and a proof of the sign that they're gonna have created. Once everything is okay, then you have the sign made on their own, that's on, they can go to whoever they wanna go to. There's certain dimensions depending on where your sign is gonna be. So for example, if you are looking to do the bold tier, on the outside, that sign happens to be larger than the ones on the inside, so it's new, the way we're doing it, it's a new structure with the tiers, it used to just be a flat fee. And your sign went in one location, but now that we have the new stadium, there's actually several different locations, and depending on, what area you like, within your price range, it does give people some flexibility to, decide what route they wanna go.
You said there's 3 tiers?
4,
Oh,
so,
four
so
tiers,
bronze,
sorry.
silver, gold, and platinum,
And that price range is from,
600 to 900. Yep. And our staff install, every year, it's a new application, yeah, we determine if a sign is damaged, or if it has to be replaced, or, after a certain amount of time, we would just say, this sign is looking a little bit, it needed some love, so we might, after a certain amount of years, we'll see if that's something we have to do anyways, just have it replaced. But we've had a very positive response to this. Lots of businesses have been interested, gotten a lot of applications. So we're really excited about that. That's all I got for it.
great, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Like they say in church, all hearts and minds are clear. All right, the next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 5th at 5:00 p.m. Location Conference Room 2, City Hall. They can make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay.